Chapter 2 Oceans and Continents Exploring Society India and Beyond for Class 6th NCRT. Chapter 2 Oceans and Continents. Children, let us now move to the next important chapter of our social science book, Oceans and Continents. If you look at a globe or a photograph of the Earth taken from space, you will notice that the most common color is blue. This is because our planet is covered mostly with water. In fact, nearly 3/4 of the Earth's surface is water, which is why astronauts often call Earth the blue planet. The large bodies of water on Earth are called oceans. But when we look closely, we also notice land in the form of brown and green patches. This land, which covers just about 1/4 of the Earth's surface, is divided into huge land masses called continents. So our Earth is made up of both oceans and continents, and together they shape the geography, the climate, and even the history of human life. The oceans are vast, continuous bodies of salt water, and they are interconnected with one another. If you take a globe, you can see that there are 5 major oceans. The largest is the Pacific Ocean, so big that it covers nearly 1/3 of the Earth's surface. Then comes the Atlantic Ocean, which lies between the Americas on one side and Europe and Africa on the other. The Indian Ocean, which directly touches India, is the third largest, and it is bounded by Asia to the north, Africa to the west, and Australia to the east. The Southern Ocean surrounds Antarctica, and finally, the smallest ocean is the Arctic Ocean, which lies around the North Pole and remains covered with ice for most of the year. These oceans may be listed separately in our maps and textbooks, but in reality, they are not divided. Their waters constantly mix and flow into one another. Because of this, marine life like whales, dolphins, turtles, and even tiny plants like algae can be found across multiple oceans. Oceans are not just water bodies, they are the lifelines of our planet. They give us rainfall through the water cycle, as the monsoon rains that nourish India originate over the Indian Ocean. They regulate the climate by absorbing and releasing heat. More than half of the world's oxygen is produced by tiny plants in the ocean, making the oceans the true lungs of our planet. But the same oceans can also be a source of natural disasters. Sometimes strong storms arise over oceans, called cyclones, which bring destructive winds and floods to coastal areas. At other times, an earthquake or volcanic eruption under the sea can produce a powerful wave known as tsunami. For example, on 26 December 2004, a massive tsunami struck countries around the Indian Ocean, including India, Indonesia, and Sri Lanka. In India, the coasts of Tamil Nadu and Kerala, as well as the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, were badly affected, and thousands of lives were lost. Such events remind us of the immense power of the oceans and the need for early warning systems and disaster management. Now let us turn to continents. If you look at the world map, you can count the continents in more than one way. Some people group Europe and Asia together as one called Eurasia because they form a continuous landmass, but usually we treat them as two separate continents because of their different histories and cultures. Similarly, North America and South America are often grouped as the Americas, but more commonly we count them as two. Finally, Africa, Australia, and Antarctica are separate continents. So the most widely accepted list has 7 continents: Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Europe, Australia, and Antarctica. Among these, Asia is the largest both in size and population, while Australia is the smallest. Antarctica, though huge, is almost uninhabited by humans because of its extreme cold, and it is covered by thick ice sheets. Apart from continents, we also have smaller land masses surrounded by water on all sides, and these are called islands. For example, Greenland is the largest island in the world, and India itself has more than 1,300 islands. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands in the Bay of Bengal and the Lakshadweep Islands in the Arabian Sea are two important island groups of our country. These islands play a role in our defense, our trade, and also our cultural diversity. Interestingly, India also participates in the Antarctica program. Since 1981, our scientists have traveled to Antarctica where they built research stations like Dakshin Gangotri to study climate and the environment. Imagine, in such a frozen land, Indian scientists live, work, and even have a library and post office. This shows us how continents, no matter how harsh, still hold importance for human knowledge and survival. Now let us compare the distribution of land and water across the Earth. The Northern Hemisphere, which is the half of the Earth above the equator, has much more land than water. That is why most of the world's population lives in the Northern Hemisphere. In contrast, the Southern Hemisphere is dominated by water with vast stretches of the Pacific and Southern Oceans. This unequal distribution of land and water plays a big role in shaping the climate of different regions and in deciding where people can live and develop civilizations. For example, India's favorable location in the Northern Hemisphere, with access to the Indian Ocean, has allowed it to grow as a center of trade and culture since ancient times. The oceans and continents also play a crucial role in human history and daily life. Since early times, humans have used oceans for trade, fishing, and travel. Coastal civilizations flourished because of their access to the sea, and even today, most of the world's largest cities are located near coasts. Oceans provide us with fish and other food, minerals, and even energy resources like oil and gas. At the same time, continents give us the land to build homes, grow crops, and develop industries. Together, oceans and continents make the earth suitable for human survival. But children, we must also remember that these natural resources are under threat because of human activity. Oceans are being polluted with millions of tons of plastic waste every year. Overfishing is reducing marine life, and oil spills and chemical waste are poisoning the waters. If we continue harming the oceans, it will affect the air we breathe, the food we eat, and the climate we depend on. That is why the United Nations has declared 8th June as World Oceans Day to remind everyone of the importance of oceans and the need to protect them. It is our duty as responsible citizens to keep our oceans and continents safe for the future of our planet. So children, what have we learnt in this chapter? We learned that the Earth is made up of vast oceans and large land masses called continents. We understood that the five oceans, the Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Southern, and the Arctic, are all interconnected, and each supports a variety of marine life. We discovered that there are 7 continents, each different in size and characteristics. We learnt about islands, tsunamis, cyclones, and the critical role of oceans in rainfall, oxygen production, and climate regulation. And most importantly, we realized that both oceans and continents are not just physical features, but the very foundation of human life and civilization. Without them, life on Earth would not exist.